What did you have to say to Mendy to let you go out after the night?
I just told him, let me finish this thing. Yeah, I mean, that was pretty much all I had to say. Was I wanted to finish it, and I felt good, felt strong, and so yeah, just pleaded my case.
In an age in which guys don't really go 9 innings very often, what is the big deal?
Yeah, I mean, it's awesome. You know, I think you dream of doing stuff like this. You know, we try and go as deep as we can in the game, and you know, to be able to go all 9 was something very special and something I couldn't have done without Louis and defense, and obviously the offense putting up runs. But yeah, it's just a huge team effort, and this is all of theirs as well.
How were you able to be so efficient tonight?
I think, you know, we had our game plan, and we wanted to attack, and felt like the first inning gave us a good start. You know, we had some early contact. Figured they would kind of slow their swings down after a quick first inning, but you know, they were ready to hit, and so I think, yeah, that was really just the plan all along, was, you know, kind of go after them. Knew they liked to swing the bat, and put the ball in play, so trust my defense and try and execute my pitches.
You were kind of on that short leash in the 9th inning. What did it feel like to get those 3 quick outs and then have that reaction from the crowd?
Yeah, it was awesome. You know, Mendy being able to give me that opportunity to go finish it was huge, and yeah, I think, you know, just hearing the crowd when I came back out, and hearing them get louder after every out was very special, and you know, they brought it all year, and it's fun playing at home.
In the tunnel, did he approach you or you approach him?
He kind of pulled me aside and said, let's have a talk, and wanted to hear what I had to say, and yeah, I mean, I told him, let me finish this thing.
David, did your adrenaline and being able to go out for the 9th give you an extra notch maybe from what you had in the 8th?
Yeah, I definitely felt
a little tired, and then you maybe look a little sharper.
I definitely felt like I had a boost. Obviously, knowing it's the 9th, and I was somewhat on a pitch count, and you know, just at that point was just trying to empty the tank, and so yeah, just gave it everything I had left.
What did you see on that play in the 8th from Tyrone Taylor, and just what was it like standing there waiting for the challenge in that situation?
Yeah, I mean, I knew we had a chance because of how hard it was hit, and I saw T got a good break on it, and so I just tried to get to back up, and you know, I had a perfect view of Louis catching the ball and coming across and getting a tag on him. So kind of knew where that review was going to end up based on the view that I had, but yeah, it was pretty special to watch it from behind the plate and see it all happen.
At what point did you start thinking to yourself, I can go all 9?
You know, I just felt like I had a chance all night. I felt like I was efficient. Pitch count stayed low, and so I think, you know, it was just going to come down to those last couple innings, getting out of those pretty quick, and trying to keep that pitch count down enough for them to send me back out.
Do you think this means more to you because of how many years, the struggles to get to where you are, and even the rehab from the operation?
It's definitely, it's very special. And like I said, it's obviously it's a personal accomplishment. It's something I've wanted to do, and but like I said earlier, this doesn't happen without Louis. The communication, being on the same page. You know, we were talking all night. It just felt like we had that connection, and we had the same thought in mind of, you know, we're going to go and we're going to finish this thing. And so, yeah, and then obviously the defense making some big plays, Pete knocking the ball down, the double play with a fast runner, Tyrone obviously. Yeah, I feel like, you know, I get the attention for it, but this is a huge team win, and you know, to watch Brandon hit 2 home runs, to watch Juan get a multiple hit game with a home run again, it's just a special game all around.
Is that ball going to go in a special place?
I'll keep that one here.
Dave, Carlos said you were avoiding him in the dugout as it got later. Do you make a conscious effort to kind of hide from the manager at that point so he doesn't get any ideas, or what do you? It showed you on the bench just sitting there at one point, maybe trying to will yourself invisible there. I don't know.
I know I can't be invisible. But no, I mean, I think, you know, he didn't really have anything for me after the 8th, or after the 7th, I guess. And so I figured he was going to let me go back for the 8th. Had a good inning there, and then you know, he was kind of talking with some of the other coaches when I walked back in, and then he came and grabbed me, and we had a talk, and that's when I was trying to really plead my case. But no, I mean, I think, you know, I wasn't necessarily hiding from him. I just trying to show him, that I've still got all the energy that I need to finish it, and that I was still locked in, and that I wasn't satisfied with 7 or 8 innings.
What did it mean to you that they had faith in you to do that?
It's huge.
Back up.
I mean, he makes all the decisions, and it's a tough job, and for him to be able to pull me aside and us talk about it, and for him to have the confidence to send me back out there, and trust that I was going to go out there and get the job done is huge. And it's just he's a great manager to play for, and yeah, I mean, I think just being able to hear my side, see how I was feeling, and it says a lot to me knowing that he had the confidence to send me back out there.
David, the success that you've had overall this season, to what extent has it maybe matched or even exceeded what you thought this year could be for you?
We're only in June. We've got a long way to go. Yeah, I think it's a good marker that tells you where you're at, and we obviously want to have success, and it gives you confidence. But it also, I think you can either ride the high and get comfortable, or you can put your head down and go back to work. And I think that's kind of a mentality that this team has, whether win or lose. Walk-off win, come back the next day. Every guy's locked in. Every guy's focused on the mission today. And so I think that's the goal is, you enjoy it, you take the positives, you see what you can work on, and you move forward on to the next day.
Did you ever throw a complete game in college or in the minor leagues or anything like that?
College I did. I don't think I did in the minor leagues.
The last one, could you have imagined 8 years ago, the game against Arizona State, it would be 8 years till you?
It's crazy. Yeah, I haven't really thought about it that way, but like I said, it's our job to go out there and give the team as much length as we've got, and to be able to go all 9 was special.
Brandon, just what type of accomplishment is what Peterson did tonight?
I mean, it's amazing. Was it really 2019? Was that the last time that it was done?
That it was done
for us.
Last time a
For a
left-hander.
left-hander. Okay, that's 6 years. Like, that's things that happen once every 6 years. That's pretty cool. So. And honestly, I think whether they say Matt's was the last guy, it's awesome because they're both amazing people, right? So like Peterson, he works so hard, he's such a good guy, and it's just awesome to see him get some recognition because he's been so good for us, and it's been fun to see him, grow up in front of my eyes, and it's weird for me to say that, but I was here when he first came up, and everybody's kind of trying to like feel their way around and kind of make sure they belong in the big leagues, and then now to see him the way that he is and him take the field with such confidence and knowing that if he executes his plan, like he's really hard to hit, and that's a good lineup over there too that he did it against. So I couldn't be more proud of him. It's come full circle. He's got so much confidence, and he knows he's nasty, and it's fun to go out there and play behind him.
And how would you describe the evolution from the rookie that came in here to where he is now?
Yeah, I think it's the biggest thing is like you're trying to figure out how do I stay, do I belong, and then once you kind of are like, okay, I belong now, how do I thrive here, how do I succeed, and he's really taken that. I think he's learned a lot from guys that have come through here, and he's taken what's worked for him and applied it, and he prepares like no other, and you can see it in the way that he goes about his work in his day, especially on start day, and all the numbers he's going through, and he's looking at all the charts and everything, and he believes in himself and his plan, and he goes with his strengths and what works for him, and then he's obviously extremely talented. So when he goes out there and he has that bulldog mentality, it's awesome. So I really think when he came into the playoffs last year, and you got to see him close in Milwaukee and all that emotion come out and confidence, like I think that was a huge step, and I think you've just seen it pour out and build on it for this year.
How much are you enjoying hotter, more humid city field?
It's so crazy. Oh my gosh. I mean, after all these years, I was talking with Clay actually, and when Abrams' ball went out yesterday, I came back in, and Clay and AJ were right next to each other. And AJ had a ball earlier this year that was 108, and I caught it on the warning track, and I told him just wait. and when I got back in, I said, "Hey boys, you know that time I was talking about? It's here now." And so it's crazy how this field just flips a switch, you know. But I'll take it. I'll take every single one of them. The funny part is the ball that I hit the hardest was the out. so you know that's the irony of baseball. But you know it's fun. I'll take it. I'm so glad I was able to help contribute tonight.
Are you feeling anything different in your swing? Have you been working on anything specific? You've hit into a lot of bad luck this year, but how do you adjust to try and get around that?
I think last year was a good learning point for me. Into sometimes you're just going to go through some bad luck, and you should just stay the course. And you know, a lot of the stuff that we go by now is expected numbers, and if all of that stuff is pointing to you should be having some success, then we kind of lean on that to play out over a course of 7 months. Unfortunately, you kind of have to understand that the weather, you're going to go through different seasons, and the weather is going to heat up and it's going to cool down, and some days the wind's going to be blowing in, and so there's a lot of different factors that play into this game. And so sometimes you have to just buy into the process and stick with it when those numbers are telling you that what you're doing is good and will work out. So it's hard, it's not easy, but that's what we've been trying to do. It's not like we don't go in there and work on things. Like, there's little things, but the overarching theme you know, has pretty much stayed the same, and then we're just trying to take those numbers and you know, make sure that the ones that we're looking at that kind of try and take emotion out of it and variables, that those numbers are looking all right. So we just tried to stay the course on that and work on small things.
Brandon, all that said, what have you seen in Soto in the last 2 weeks?
I mean, honestly, for him as well, just like things heating up, and his numbers were all pointing to he's the Soto that we all know and love, you know. But this city field, it's no joke. I tell you guys every single year, like, April and May here is no joke. And there's a reason that this ballpark, you know, ranks in the bottom of ballparks every single year, and it's not because of June, July, and August. As you can see, he actually has amazing numbers in Citi Field. So, like, as a whole, like, I think this is going to work out great, you know, for him. But it's just the way it goes sometimes. Again, there's seasons of life. There's seasons, you know, for baseball as well. And he was doing his process and getting on base, and he ran into some bad luck as well, and you know, that's going to happen. So he stayed the course. You know, he is, I believe, you know, by the end of the season, you know, God willing, stay healthy, he'll be exactly where he needs to be at the end of the season, and we'll be so glad that he's on our team. So I am right now. I know that it's hard to stay the course, but I even told him, you know, a few weeks ago, it was almost about a month ago, he hit a ball that, you know, was absolutely crushed, hit the wall, should have been a home run, and I just came in and I said, like, just give it a month, and that'll be a homer. Like, you're gonna be just fine. And you know, obviously now we've seen what we've seen, and he's gotten into some hitter ballparks and we've gotten into some warmer weather, and he's still walking, but he's doing damage, you know, when they come in the zone. So I love it, and I'm glad he's on our team.
Luis, at what point tonight did you think that he had something special going?
Sí, bueno, después del octavo inning, bueno, siempre desde el primer inning vinimos atacando la zona, pero ya en el séptimo, octavo inning en que estábamos realizando outs bastante rápido, bueno, pudimos ejecutar lo demás.
You know, every game from the first inning, we have our plan and we try to execute that plan. But around the 7th and 8th inning, that's kind of where I noticed it, and we were able to start moving a lot quicker there.
Carlos was talking about how many of the guys were kind of circling around him, not wanting him to take Peterson out. When you got back into the dugout, were you were you aware of what was happening? Did you think that he was going to come back out for the ninth?
Sí, sí, a mí Carlos se me acercó y me dijo que, oye, va a seguir para el octavo, tiene 8 o 9 picheos, así que llevarlo de la mejor manera y bueno, pudimos ejecutar el noveno inning con un picheo rápido.
Yeah, Carlos came up to me after that eighth. He says, "Hey, he's got about 8 or 9 pitches to get these." So I went out there with the plan to be able to get a quick ninth right there.
On that play at the plate, did you think right away that you had him, or did you need to see the replay to know?
Bueno, yo sé que lo toqué, no, en ese momento justamente cerré los ojos y no vi cuándo lo toqué, pero ya después de la repetición confirmé lo que sentí.
No, I thought that I had touched him. Like my eyes were closed there, so I didn't know at what point I touched him. But once I saw the play, it confirmed that we got him.
What do you think was just the biggest thing between you and him? You know, just the plan that you guys had going into today that allowed you guys to have so much success.
Yo creo que la manera que él atacó a todos los bateadores del primer inning fue lo que hizo que en el noveno inning pudiéramos salir a competir y en la ejecución de cada uno de los picheos no vinimos atacando y bueno, se dieron buenos resultados.
You know, I think his plan from the very first inning was what was able to get us to that ninth inning and to continue to execute and continue with our play to the ninth inning. So it was really his command of the pitches and his execution.
Just how big of an accomplishment is this, given that in today's game this doesn't happen very often? I mean, most nights a 6-inning start is good enough.
Yeah. Bueno, no, bastante, ¿no? También es mi primero que he hecho como receptor y bueno, muy emocionado por ese logro con Peterson y sí, es un logro bastante, sobre todo para el equipo, para guardar un poco los brazos también de bullpen y todo eso.
Yeah, it's a first complete game that I've caught. And yeah, so and it also gave us the opportunity to save the bullpen. So I was really excited to achieve that goal with Peterson today.
You've now been teammates with Peterson, caught Peterson for just about a year. Overall, what has impressed you the most about the way he carries himself, the way he competes on the mound?
Yo creo que es la mentalidad, ¿no? La mentalidad de competidor que él tiene, eso es algo que es de admirar y que en cada juego uno siente la oportunidad de que va a ganar ese juego.
Yeah, I think it's his mentality. Just the way that he goes out there, the way that he competes, the way that you know he's going to just attack the game. He gives you that opportunity or that feeling that every single time he's out there that you're going to win the game.